Hello and welcome to ARK The Complete Series. We're starting entirely from scratch and I'm already getting into problems already with blooming compies. That is not a good start. But yeah, we're starting entirely from scratch. I've got a new character, we're on the island. I've also got a new server, it's a dedicated server that I've built. But you go away, look, I've got better things to... Ooh, stroke, there's a lot of them as well. Yeah, I mean it's... I've built a new dedicated server because I want to see what it's like in comparison to playing this in single player mode, which is what I normally do. So that's where I've got I'm running the client and the server all on the same computer. Part of the reason for doing that is I want to try and get as close as possible to like the official servers. I mean I don't play on those because they're well, mostly because you can run into griefers, for instance. Oh, I don't want that. I want to put this into weight. I don't like that sort of aspect of the game. It totally spoils it for me. So I want to just play at my own pace, do my own thing. So I still want to keep it single player, but it's just basically now it's going to be me on my own dedicated server. So that's a computer that I've set up that's running Linux. Installed a server, and I've made some changes to the default settings. So I've increased the harvesting rate because I mean obviously it's really sort of like geared up as a multiplayer game. So the idea would be that you're in a tribe and a lot of you could gather a lot more resources than one individual player could. So obviously you get things done a lot quicker. So I don't have that luxury. So it's a case of I want to be able to still have enjoy the game without it taking so long. So we've got the harvesting rate turned up. I've got the taming speed turned up as well. Same as the breeding settings have been increased. So basically it won't take as long for me to tame things. I mean I'm not going to be playing the game all day every day. That's just not going to happen. But the game itself will still be running 24/7. So it means, for instance, that the I'll just sign off and the game's just still going to be ticking over. If some dinosaur comes along and decides to eat me while I'm offline, well, it's going to happen. I've still got to leave enough resources for any dinos that I've got tamed. I've still got to leave them enough meat, enough berries and so on to keep them alive. Whereas normally when you play it in single player mode, as soon as you just exit the game, that's it. The game stops, the server stops, so you don't get those sort of issues. So yeah, I mean it was a chance to sort of experience that. But one of the other key reasons I want to do it is because I've heard issues about when you play this in single player. I mean I've run into issues while playing on the island, for instance. I've had problems where, for instance, like with the artifact of the Skylord, that's been a real problem for me because I've played the actual island quite a lot. The only drawback that I found is that for some reason that artifact just didn't spawn at all. Which is really frustrating. The bats and the spiders that were there, you could take those out, you could harvest the resources. It would take forever for those things to come back. But the actual artifact itself, you would get the little effect at least you would get the impression that the artifact was there. You'd go around the corner and oh great, the artifact's there, and then you turn up and there's just nothing there at all. So I was getting really disappointed with that, and I ended up getting my achievement for that off the centre. So as far as I'm aware, I mean I don't know if anybody else has experienced those sort of issues, but as far as I'm aware it's because the single player mode doesn't get as much attention as the server does. So you get those niggly little problems. So hopefully I won't be running into that on this playthrough. But another reason I wanted to do it is because the last time I was playing on the island, it was a long time. So I haven't really experienced sort of playing, right from scratch, where you've got a character like this that you're leveling up from scratch that can barely do anything and is really vulnerable to everything around it. I'm not used to, by now having level 100 plus character, spawns into a new map. It's already got the engrams pretty much, and it's a case of oh, hang on, go away you lot. I'm not interested in you lot, go away. Go find somebody else to bother. That's one thing I certainly don't have at level 1. A problem with at level 100. So it's a case of go away. Seriously, go away. Yeah, I've totally lost my train of thought. But where was I? I've forgotten anyway. Yeah, it's a case of, you know, you're starting from scratch. And the last time I played on the island, they were introducing like new dinosaurs still, and I mean, it had already been released. I'd played it in early access, and I'd played it when it was fully released, but it was still introducing new things onto the map. So you had things like the TLCs, and things got changed. So when I was coming back to the island, I mean, they'd introduced new things for like the trike, for instance, that can do a running charge. So that makes quite a difference. Then you've got things like the raptors that can pounce on you. So they're much tougher now, because they'll go around in little packs, and what they can do is they can really give you grief, especially at low level now. Whereas, well, no, not a Therizino as well. That's just what I don't need, is a Therizino in the area. Yeah, so it makes quite a bit of difference, I think, if I start from scratch. So I'll give it a try and see what it's like in comparison to what I've been used to, just to see what the gameplay is like. I expect it'll be quite different, but because I've now got sights on, you know, finishing the entire game. My goal is to basically ascend on the island, so then we'll get across to Scorched Earth. We don't officially ascend on Scorched Earth. I mean, they never introduced anything at the end to, like, you know, if you go on the island, you'll ascend and you'll see yourself going over to Scorched Earth. If you finish Aberration, you'll see yourself ascend and going, you know, over to Earth. So it's quite different now. For some reason, I still haven't done anything with Scorched Earth, but my goals are, you know, much further away now, because I've got a plan to sort of like get off the island and go right through all of those maps. So the idea will be to basically tame things up that I'll be taking across 2 of the maps, basically to make things easier, because I don't want to basically just keep reinventing the wheel. So I mean, I'll definitely be getting myself a sort of like a little army together, so that I can take them across, you know, across to the maps and help me with boss fights over there, but as well as to be able to play the boss fights on this map as well. Right, let's just see if there's anything we can make while we're doing it. Because at this stage, I mean, there's not a great deal to be done, to be honest. I'm just leveling the character up. Right, so can we make one of those? I need a stone. Right, so I'll just make that. So basically it's just a case of, at this stage, it's just like, you know, just gathering things to get the XP more than anything. Right, I heard a dodo around here somewhere. There you are. Right, sorry dodo, but, you know, I need your hide. Because that's one thing I definitely need, is to improve on the armor that I've got. Right, unfortunately I don't have... What do I need to make a hatchet? That's a thought. Right, what do we need for you? We'll need some flint. Right, I'll just go and quickly get some flint, because I can get more hide. Right, yep, I can get more hide out of that with an axe. Or yeah, sorry, with an axe you can get more meat, and with a hatchet you'll get more hide. Now I'm just gonna remember where I left that thing. Right, okay, come here. I need your bits. Thank you, thank you. What was I making? Oh yes, I was going to make some armor. But no, I mean, at this stage it's just mostly just like a leveling exercise. I do want to make a small little hut before I finish, though. I mean, the area that I'm in is a bit well, it's medium difficulty. I'm not going to sort of like start in the freezing cold areas of the north, for instance. I'll just freeze to death and I won't last 5 minutes, I don't think. So I've started down here. I mean, even though we're on a completely different server, though, my character, even though it's a completely new character, it knows everything about the map. There's nothing being like, you know, there's no fog of war or anything where I don't know about what's going on. We're at the stage where we know everything about the map, basically. I think that's just because they must record that information on the client side. Because I mean, I've obviously played through the entire map umpteen times, and they must record that for some reason. Because this character, even though it's starting from scratch and is a new character, it still gets like all the skins and the costumes, for instance. So let's see. So I'll have that and that. Right. So basically, I just need to start leveling up. So I'm going to start gathering things like the thatch, for instance. I'll get quite a bit of XP out of crafting. So I'm quite keen to start learning all the things for thatch, so that way I can build myself a little house, and then I can sign off and just leave my character tucked away in a little house. I mean, you know, you've got Therizzinos and Spinos around here, so it's not exactly going to be like brilliant, to be honest, but it's better than nothing. I mean, it gives me some sort of like peace of mind for some strange reason. I don't know why. I'm just going to have a look and see where we'll build this. Put that there. I mean, it doesn't really matter where I put it, but I'll just pop it down here. This is not going to be like a permanent base that I'm building. It's just like a temporary one, just to get us through the early stages. I'll have to find an actual place that I'm going to leave my character at until we find somewhere useful. Right, so what do I need next? So I want a doorway, which means I need some wood. Now, in terms of the actual server setup, as I say, this thing's going to be running 24/7. So it means what's changed is I basically have to start looking after these dinos. I'm going to have to leave them, anything I tame up, I'll have to leave them enough food for while the server's running, for instance. And I've only put a few mods in to play this through. I've put S Plus in, so I've got the S Plus structures. The idea is that makes life a lot easier. I find it's just too much a hassle. Like if you build things, especially things like walls. I appreciate that they've, you know, Wildcard have introduced that 30-minute pickup, and I think they're making changes so that you can do more. I don't think I've leveled up onto that yet, have I? Right. Well, I'll just make some of these and then I'll just dump them, to be honest. They've introduced some like that 30-minute pickup, and I think they're going to improve that as we go along. But for me, I prefer to be able to, you know, if I want to build something, I want to have that option where I can change my mind regularly. I might build something out and think, that's not quite what I had in mind, and I want to change it. So I quite like being able to do that with S Plus, whereas I can't do it with the vanilla structures. So I want to be able to take advantage of that. Right, so that's got me going there. I can still learn a door, so that'll be useful because I need to be able to close it. So I'll just keep. I'll stop that actually now while I've got the chance. I'll learn some of these. It's not quite enough, but it'll do. So yeah, we've got S Plus. I mean, there's some parts of S Plus I'll definitely be using because they speed the things up for me. I mean, as I was saying probably before, I mean, I'm just playing this on my own, and I don't play it all the time. You know, every day, every hour of the day. So it's a case of I don't have to take, you know, months and months to be able to get things done. So what I've got is I'm going to take advantage of some of their features, like things like the egg collector, for instance. That'll just basically picks up the eggs for you. It's an automated process. Saves me having to keep going out and check every so often. I can get on with other things, leave that little egg collector to pick things up. Same goes for the hatchery. Rather than pick things up and then, you know, pick up a fertilized egg and then sit twiddling my thumbs for a while waiting for the egg to hatch, I can use the hatchery to pick that up. That'll reduce the time for incubation a lot quicker. And I mean, I don't mind doing that. It's the principle is the same. It's still going to be like a time exercise. It's just going to take less time. I can either sit twiddling my thumbs doing nothing, or I can actually, you know, get the S Plus to do things for me, make my life a bit easier and get things done quicker. So I don't have any issues in doing that. And I think what else is there's Platforms Plus I've introduced as well. Now that one is more for, basically it's just, I like that because you can build better platforms. I like to be able to build stuff out in the redwoods, for instance, and you get, I prefer that that mod for that reason. It's better than the vanilla platforms that you get. Right, let's see how many. So I need another 2 walls. So let's see, what do we need? Do we need thatch or do we need wood? Need more thatch. Right, let's get more thatch. Another mod I've introduced is it's the Death Helper. Now, I've always used that because very early on in the game, if your character died, you literally had to go out and you had to go and looking for your own body. That was a real pain. I mean, it was a really annoying. I mean, people have introduced other mods, but I quite like being able to use that one. It's not, to me, it wasn't too bad. You know, at least you had some idea, because when you die, it shows you on the map where your body is. But that was a pain in the neck if you didn't remember exactly where you'd left it. It would be very, very difficult to find it. So that mod came out to make it easier. And then Wildcard introduced another option. They introduced their own like corpse locator. So when you get within a certain range of your body, it actually gets highlighted. You know, you get that little beacon effect, if you will, suddenly pops up, shoots up from the ground, so you can actually track down where your body is. So I stopped using the Death Helper for that. So instead of having, you know, you still have to remember something about where your body was. So it made it slightly easier using Wildcard's method, and not too easy, shall we say. The only downside of still using, you know, not having that Death Helper is like if I go into a cave, for example, one of the problems I have is that your body can sometimes get like stuck underneath the ground and you just can't retrieve it. You'll be able to like locate it, but you can't get it back, which to me I think was like a flaw in the design. I can't understand why someone would deliberately have that problem. To me it just didn't make any sense. So I was quite happy to hold on to the Death Helper mod, because that's what that does. It when you get near to your body, if it is stuck into the ground, it can at least bring up your bag of resources to the surface. So then that way you'll get everything back. I mean, you've still got a timer. You've still got only a certain amount of time to actually get your resources back before they expire, which is, you know, that's fair. I mean, I think there are other mods that can allow you to instantly like retrieve your body, which I don't know. I think that's going outside the actual gameplay for me. It makes it a bit too easy. Right, so I need more hide because I want to make a sleeping bag. Actually, what about storage? What do we get for storage? So I can make, right, I can at least make that, because at this early stage I don't have much in the way of weight to be able to store things in. And I'm getting XP from making things, and I'm getting XP from collecting things. So what I want to do is I want storage, and I at least want a sleeping bag. It's going to be a while before I can make an actual bed. So what I'm going to need is some spears. So right, so I need more flint. So anyway, I mean, I think this should be a much more interesting gameplay, you know, for me than playing it on single player. Hopefully it'll get rid of some of the issues I have encountered. I mean, I've been able to play, you know, the island without too much of a problem, shall we say. But hopefully this should make it a lot more interesting. But what I need right now is I need XP. So while we're starting out, it's going to be a bit of a grindy game. Most of the things I'm going to be doing is just going out and trying to get XP. So, and one of the things I'm definitely going to be doing is trying to avoid Therazinos. I mean, I've got a, you know, a hope in hell against one of them things. Even at high level, it can still tear you to shreds. Come here. Come. I need your hide. You need to make yourself useful. Thank you. Right, so hopefully that's enough to make myself a bed. It's a bag. Right, so let's see. So we're level 7, which isn't too bad One thing I'm going to need the next time we'll level up, and it's not going to be too far off, I want a slingshot, because then I can start knocking things out. Because what I want to do is I want to get some, I mean, it'd be great if you can get something to ride around on, but just going back over the engrams, I mean, realistically the next thing you're going to get is the Fiomia. And to be honest, I don't really want to be running around the map with one of them. You've got to get to level 9 before you can get something like a Parasaur. I mean, you can tame one up, but you can't put a saddle on it, so you can't realistically ride it. So let's just put this. Oh, if I can find the door. Oh, the door's around here, isn't it? Duh. Right, we'll put my little bag down. So at least now, if I do die, and I do expect to on like many occasions, then at least we can respawn right here. It'll be better once we get the bed, because the bed's permanent. Actually, I need a door, don't I? Can I just build a door? If I could spell door. Make ourselves a door. That gives me a kind of bit of peace of mind that I've got something. So that when I want to log off, I can just come in here and log off in the naive expectations that nothing's going to come and gank me. I mean, you know, there's a Therizino down there. I think there's a Spino down there. But hey, you know, you got to convince yourself. Right. So what do I need to make a little fire now? Because I need to start cooking meat. So I need some stone and I need some. Can I pick this up? Nope. Right. So I should be able to start collecting that. So I'll get myself some stone. I think it said I needed wood, didn't it? Go and chop a tree down. Get myself some wood, get myself XP. Then I can start cooking some meat. I mean, there is a water skin there I can get as well, but I'm not too concerned about that. Because, I mean, the water's just down there. I mean, this area isn't where I'm going to have my permanent base. This thing here, it's just, yeah, just something to get me through the initial playthrough, to be honest. Let's see, just make a fire. Hopefully I've got a reasonable amount of meat. I mean, you can get by eating the berries for a while, but meat's better. So plonk that down there. I'll put that on there. There's some meat. Right, there we go. Oh, for some strange reason I keep thinking the door's there. I'll put it over on this side because it's close to the ground, because until you learn the wood you haven't got any ramps. Right, so we'll keep this in here for now. You can stay in there. Right, actually, what do I need to make? I've got 8 spears. Can I make 2 more? So I need 16 wood. So at this stage, I mean, all I'm doing, I'm just going to be chopping things down, crafting things, and not a great deal, nothing fascinating, but it's just the way it is when you're starting out. It's a bit grindy, but the good thing is I've already got a plan before I've started, because I know straight up it's a case of I've got to start taming things up. At some point when we get to that level where we can start getting on like T-Rexes, you've got to start taming them up so you can prepare for taking on the bosses. There are artifacts to collect. That means a lot of exploring within caves and so on. Just plonk that in there. Can you get enough for 2? That's another reason I like S Plus, is you've got the pulling system. You don't get that with the vanilla system yet. I don't know if they'll bring that in, which is a bit of a shame because I really like it. It makes life a heck of a lot easier. I mean, they brought the feature over for storage, dedicated storage, but I don't know whether you'll get that opportunity to actually be able to pull things. I mean, I was quite tempted to like try out the beta version because they're introducing a lot of features from S Plus into it, but I'm just going to avoid it for now because from what I understand, they've brought across the features from S Plus. You've got like the triangle shape structures, and you've got the ability to pick things up and so on. But one of the problems that, well, they've introduced like a change to the kibble system, so it's similar to what they've done for Extinction, but at the moment it's PC only and it's only available on the So it's beta only, it's only available on the PC. The problem as far as I'm aware is if you go for that beta version, you can create the new kibble types, but you can't create the old kibble types. You can tame things on the new kibble types, but for some reason you can't imprint on the new kibble types, only on the old kibble types, which to me seems kind of pointless, really. I mean, I'm assuming they'll fix that pretty quickly, like, but I'm just going to stay clear of it and go with this. So at the moment, it means there's going to be specific dinos I'm going to have to go out there and tame in order to get their eggs, so that I can make specific kibble to then like get a full taming of other dinos that I specifically want. So for instance, like scorpions to get the T-Rexes. I'll also need to go out and tame up specific dinos that are used for the imprinting kibbles. So there's quite a few of those I'll need as well. Whereas once the system changes, you'll be down to only needing specific dinos from a group. So I think you need ones that give you small eggs, extra small eggs. I think there's large ones, extra large ones, and special ones. I think that's the ones you need. So you only need one dino out of each of those groups to make the different types of kibble. And then once you've got those, that's it, you don't need any more. So for instance, for me, I'd probably just go out and tame like a dodo, get about 2 dodos, a male and a female, to speed things up, because those things, they sort of like produce eggs at a really, really fast pace. There's no point having more than 2. Oh, and it's raining. Yeah, that's one thing that the game's renowned for on the island. It's forever raining, it seems. Another thing I've actually done on this is I've disabled the fog as well, because that used to drive me nuts. That seriously used to get on my nerves. I haven't done anything for the water yet. I might do. I might introduce something to make the water clearer. We'll see, but that's going to be later on in the game, I think. I mean, there's certain things I've changed, as I say, including things like the taming and the breeding timers. But I want to try and stick to like as close to the vanilla settings as possible. The rest of it's just making the gameplay quicker, if you will. Because I think I was looking into like gigas, for instance. I think on a vanilla server, I think it takes like something like 12 days almost to mature a giga. I mean, I wouldn't have time for that, quite frankly. I mean, if you've got a tribe, at least you can take it in turns, you know, take it in shifts or something, because you've got to imprint the things. But no, I don't think I'd have time to do that myself. So the rest of it should be pretty much just like the vanilla. So anyway, where we're at now then is, let's see, we're up to level 7, so that's not too bad. I mean, to be honest, this dude can just like passively level. But I'm just going to gather a few things, that's it. I'm just going to keep gathering things, and once we get to learn the slingshot, I'll then start going out and start taming some stuff. I could tame up like a dodo, for instance, but I don't really have a need for those quite yet. I haven't learned anything for like crop plots yet, so I can't like start growing the vegetables, for instance. I could do that pretty early on. There's plenty of water like from the rain already, but I'm not really going to get too early into that sort of thing. But I do want to be able to tame something up so that I can get about on the map a bit quicker. So I'll probably look for either a trike or a parasaur. The only drawback, I think it'll be, I've got to have quite a few levels before I can get up to the trike. So let's see, I'll just put a bit more into weight. So I'm going to leave the water skin for now. So I've got myself a slingshot, and that's it. My engrams are gone. So the next thing I'm going to be looking for will be the mortar and pestle and the narcotics, because you can get XP from crafting narcotics. I don't need the spark powder yet. I will be needing a bed. I've got a rough idea in the back of my mind where I can find crystal, but because the spyglass is just, it just makes a heck of a difference having a spyglass. But the priority really is just keep leveling up until I get to these, and that should help get the XP going quicker as well. I'm just mindful of the fact there's a bunch of Therizinosaurus hanging around the area. But anyway, we've got ourselves a fire going. We can make meat now, close to water. I've got my little my little housemaid, so I can just log off. You know, go inside here, log off, and convince myself that nothing's going to attack me, and I'll be fine and safe. Because it's going to be a long time before I can even get to, you know, likes of wood. I think was it level 10 or something? It's level 11. Yeah, you've got to wait till level 11 before you get there. But even still, you can see. I mean, I'm up to level 8, and then I just didn't have enough engrams to do everything. But I've made progress, so it's a good start. And now that I've learned the slingshot, let's see. So ranged. See if we've got enough to pull that. Yeah, we'll make a slingshot. So these are pretty good because all you need for those is stone. So it means I can now go out looking for things like dillos, for instance. But I mean, that's as far as I'm going to go for this playthrough, or at least this video rather. I mean, I've set out what I aim to achieve, which is, you know, I've got myself a little fire here to cook my meat. So I've got a source of food, I've got a source of water down there. Got myself a little bit of storage down there and a sleeping bag, so I can quickly respawn back here if I need to. Otherwise, I'll just respawn in random places. Now we've got a bit of storage area here to keep things in. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to call it a day there. So I do hope you've enjoyed watching the video. If so, then do please leave a like, because that'll help me out a great deal. And if you're new to the channel and you want to see more content like this, then yeah, do subscribe. Just remember to click the little bell icon, and then you'll get notifications for when the new content comes out. If you've got any comments, any suggestions, any feedback at all you'd want to leave, then do please post that in the comments section below. But until the next video, thanks very much for watching. Bye!